Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Zanthyst Gaming, and welcome to my 200 IQ base, because who doesn't like tired old memes, right? This base is set up to function very similar to a Orcs Must Die kind of base, where the zombies path through a certain pathway, and then traps knock them into other traps, which knock them into other traps, which knock them into other traps, and then they continue looping through. This is a looping base without exploiting AI. It's not forcing the AI to walk across blocks that they think are there but aren't actually there. We're actually using the turrets in order to create the loop. So I feel a little bit less dirty about this kind of looping base. This is able to do insane difficulty at 8, 16, and 32 zombies pretty easily. Once you get up to 64 zombies, it becomes quite difficult. You're going to have to really defend hard, but it is doable. I have successfully done it. Standard settings, it just destroys up to 64 zombies even. It destroys standard settings. So the big challenge on 64 zombies on any setting is just keeping these bad boys repaired, because sometimes the zombies start to pile up here. But that's part of why we have this part where the bodies fall through and creates a loop. So that helps. Let's go ahead and demonstrate demolishers and cops, and then we'll do a horde night real quick. The demolishers can get set off by the sledgehammer turrets, but it's very, very rare. It usually only happens if they stumble just slightly wrong. So you do want to be shooting the demolisher zombies with your gun to prevent that from happening. But as you can see here, like, they can get knocked around quite a bit and not get set off. Let's go ahead and activate our other traps so we can show you how it really works. Okay, whoops. So you can kind of see as he walks forward, he gets electrocuted, and then he starts getting slammed into the side wall. Now that's where sometimes it can get set off if he doesn't turn back quick enough, but usually it's perfectly fine. And he just keeps slamming him, and as he stumbles forward into the blade traps, he is usually killed by the blade traps. They'll kind of get up there sometimes, and if they do that, they'll run into the spikes, or they'll jump down and loop again. That doesn't happen very often, though. Most of the time, they just continue forward and get sucked into the spikes. Like, I've seen that happen a total of like 3 times, testing this on like 15, 20 different Blood Moon hordes. It does not happen very often, so don't worry about that too much. But whenever you see a demolisher, you do want to be shooting them, even though your traps can take care of it. Better safe than sorry. Shoot them in the head, take care of them. Don't risk it, right? Don't risk it for the biscuit. Alright, kill them. Cops are very similar. The traps are perfectly capable of taking care of them, but don't risk it, because it's better to just kill them and shoot them yourself than worry about them killing you, right? So we'll see his health just get decimated by blade traps once he gets up to that point, and that happens pretty much every time. The thing that can happen, though, is they'll puke at you. So it's better to shoot them as they come in to try to interrupt their puking as much as possible. Sidestep any pukes they might do, and just continue shooting them as they come forward. Don't even worry about letting your blade traps kill them. Just kill them yourselves. Cops and demolishers actively defend against everything else. Takes care of itself. Alright, we're on day 7,000, so our game stage is 520. Let's go ahead and get on into a horde so you can just kind of see how it goes. And I am just going to take my hands off the keyboard, other than to repair these guys and kill demolishers. We're just going to let the base take care of everything else. We'll play about a minute and a half of this. I think putting to the build at about 5 minutes seems about right, and we'll show you how to build it next. But you can kind of see the base kind of takes care of itself. It kind of slams them into the blade traps, and then the blade traps suck them through, and then they fall down. So I can go into spectator mode real quick for you guys and show you what that looks like as they fall through from the side. So they kind of get knocked through and fall down. It's pretty cool, actually. I do see a cop there, but I'll let the traps take care of them so you guys can see it at this angle for a few more seconds. Spiders just kind of run through. They're not a big deal either, because they think they can't really jump or anything, right? So they get diced up real good. So yeah, the base kind of takes care of itself. The main things you have to do, again, is just repair your blade traps as you go. Don't worry about if this one gets broken. It doesn't usually, but if it does, it's not a big deal. So yeah, let's go and pop back into our bodies here. And yeah, you can actively defend if you want, but the main advantage of this base is that you're saving a ton of materials. You don't have to use all those bullets. It's just a little bit of steel to repair and a few electronic parts at the very end for the fences, but they don't take very much damage, so very, very solid base. All right, let's go ahead and get into how to build it. We'll show you the advanced version first, and then I'll show you like a primitive build for how you would get started before you get to the point of having blade traps and everything else. All right, let's go get on into that now. Just satisfying to watch. All right, so step 1 is you're going to lay a foundation of 10 by 5, and then obviously upgrade it. And then you're going to build out the walls to be 4 high, looks like. Yeah, 4 high total. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 is where the overhang starts. So we'll go ahead and do that. The one thing you want to know is that you want to leave a block here where you're going to be able to do the blade traps, right? So leave that open. 3 squares is the blade traps. And then other than that, it should be solid wall. You're also going to want to leave a door frame right here. Ignore that 5 block. This doorway is going to be right there. Otherwise, we're just going to build up our wall, and we'll be right back. All right, now that you've gotten all that upgraded, your next step is to put in the roof. Your roof block here is going to be the max height that you can have it at. The next one is going to be rotated down 1 from that. Of course, you're not a heathen, so you keep the bars oriented in the same direction. And we're just going to go like that straight over. Then we're going to go ahead and put in our blade traps just to kind of keep track of where everything's at. Helps mark out things. We're not going to be able to put in our 3rd blade trap right there yet because that requires a ditch to be dug, but that'll get us going there. And then we're going to need half blocks for 5 rows. So 1/2, you're using wet concrete for that. There's no shape for that in rebar, so you have to use the concrete. Same amount of efficiency as using the rebar though, so it's not that big of a deal. And it should bring you right even with the blade traps. Great. Crouch, get in there. All right, and then we're going to take and we're going to put a bar there. I don't believe there are rebar shapes for bars, are there? For poles? No. So we have to use the wet concrete for that as well. So we go pole, and it's right there. You want to use the one that's oriented to the right on the icon. We're going to go into advanced rotations, and we're going to place it right here. You can use other blocks to block that path. It doesn't have to be a pole. If you're not a fan of poles, you can use something else. I like poles because you can see down below to shoot dogs and stuff, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be that. It just works out pretty decently. I'm going to place 3 full blocks there. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're going to place bars up above. Again, this time we're going to switch back to the top orientation so the spikes that we put on top of those bars don't look like they're floating. I'm going to jump up there. And we'll go ahead and put in those spikes. I'm trying to show you guys as much as possible while cutting out the super duper mundane parts. Just someone had mentioned that I do a lot of camera or stuff off camera, so I'm trying to minimize that. I had to actually go check, right as I said that I had to go check something. So, okay, then we're going to leave a blank space here, and we're going to put those like that. That's going to allow us to put our little sledge turrets down there, but not allow zombies to walk through there. So we're just going to fill that up like so. And like that. You could actually use a full block there instead of the bars. The bars are fine too. The full block can upgrade to higher durability, so that's up to you. I think in my one over there, I had a full block there instead of a bar, so my bad. Either way works though, honestly. It's not a big deal. It's a very slight change in materials. Should be fine. From this spot on the edges here, we're going to need to build like a little lip. So the lip goes 4 over from the entrance in both directions. Oops. Left and right. This side's going to have more of an overhang, but that's kind of the nature of how we're building our pit. So it's kind of has to be that way. And also with the blade traps, we couldn't make it uniform as a 1 overhang because the blade traps interfere with the ability to do that. So it's fine. So we've done our 4 overhang there, and we're going to put 4 overhang over here as well. 4, and it's actually just a 1 overhang on this side, I guess. I suppose I misspoke a little. It's not perfectly symmetrical, but when you look at it from the front, it looks pretty symmetrical in the end. So it's not a huge deal. The blade traps again just kind of change things a little bit. We're doing the best we can with what we got, right? All right, and then we want to go up top and upgrade those and put in more stuff. What I did when I was building it without using creative mode is I built a couple ladders over here and put them in. Oh, shoot. I was supposed to leave a door. Yeah, I'm supposed to leave a door. My bad. Right here. So 2 blocks over, leave room for a door because you need to be able to jump into your base. So that's important. And then put ladders there. So we can just grab some ladders real quick and show you. Leave 2 blocks blank so zombies can't jump into it. And then you can just jump up yourself. Don't run into your own spikes. And we're going to upgrade those off camera. We'll be right back. Okay, I actually forgot to place a few of these rebar frames here too, so took care of that as well. Now we go into the shape menu again for the wet concrete, and we're going to choose 1/2. This part's purely aesthetic. You can use any block. You can use full blocks. I like the nice little like slope up kind of look here, so that's why I did 1/2 and then full. You don't have to do that. I thought that looked nice, so that's how I did it that way. Well, I did it that way. Okay, and I believe we start 1 block in, yep. And we go 6 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do the same thing over here. We start 1 block in, then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the next block over is going to be just a solid block attached on top of those half blocks that we just placed. And then, of course, we want to upgrade those as well. So, place those there. We'll do the same thing on this side here. Whoopsie. That's why we're using rebar. All right. And then I'll just upgrade those, and we'll be right back. Okay, this seems like a good time to build our little staircase here. So we're just going to place a full block here. We're going to go into the shape menu, and we're going to choose ramp. You can do this with wet concrete instead and do staircases. That's completely up to you. Exact same concept. And then we're going to do the corner. I believe it's full corner. Yeah, corner full. And close that up. And we have this nice little slope into the base that the zombies can run up, right? Okay. Now on these half blocks, this is where we're going to place our sledge turrets later. But we can address that in a moment. For the moment, I think it'd be best if we wire up our electric fences since we have this nice little overhang done here. So we're just going to throw those on there and try not to do what I just did because that has to be replaced now. You could, if you have a land claim block down, you can just pick those up if you misplace them. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to do that. And then you do the same thing on the other side. Without misplacing the block. If you're looking directly up at the block instead of on the side, it'll place it correctly. You do want them to be upside down. I was off by 1 on my fences. That's weird. Oh, right. It's because of the one I misplaced. There we go. And then we want to grab the wiring tool and put that in next. I might as well throw in my door as long as I have it right here. So we're going to wire from this side, and then we're just going to run around to the other side and wire it through. And we're going to do that for all 5 fences. Great. We're done wiring up all the fences. Now we want to put our shotgun turret up top. And then we probably should start wiring up our stuff and place down our sledge turrets as well, I suppose. Shotgun turret you want to make sure is pointed this way. And then once we wire it up to power, we're going to point the camera for it straight down. It should shoot them as they run. It'll shoot them in the back. So, cool. Okay, next up is setting up your robotic sledges. You want to modify them and put in a burning shaft mod, a fortifying grip, a rad remover, and a weighted head mod, and they'll up its damage pretty significantly by 4 per hit, but it'll also set them on fire and remove their radiation, which is pretty important. I don't know if the fortifying grip actually gives you health back. I'm not sure. but might as well put it in anyway, right? So you just do that for both of them. Try to collect those mods as you go through. Once you hit this end game point, you should probably have those anyway. So to place these, we want to crawl in here, and we want to place it on this back first spot, and we want to place it kind of like... It's kind of difficult to do, but you want it to be kind of angled and facing forward if you can. I should have probably done it before I placed the wall in, actually. Let's probably break that wall and place it in from the outside. You can just place it in like this. It doesn't make a difference. It just rotates slightly differently. So place it there. And then the next one is you skip a block and then you place it on the next one, angling it towards the doorway. It's a little bit easier to see if you upgrade the blocks where your blocks are at. So we're going to go right here and towards the doorway. And that because that's the location of them, it's less likely to set off the demos. Okay. Now you can note that you can actually crouch and crawl through here. The zombies can't, even like the spider zombies. For whatever reason, they can't even. We're not gonna be able to see because my turrets are gonna be bullies. Let's let him get back up here real quick. There we go. So like he can't walk through that little area there. He can break my bars, but he can't walk through that little area. I'm gonna place those back. So I went into God mode. This is like the perfect placement. So if you want to place these turrets down before you put these walls in, you can place it like that. It doesn't really matter that much. It just rotates a little bit quicker if you place them diagonally like that. And then the other one you can do easily enough. It's just that first... Wait, where did that... I just placed the bar somewhere. That first one is kind of just a little tricky. And there we go. So those are in, and now we place our generator right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Boonk. And then we're going to put our engines in, refuel, turn on. And we're going to want to actually go into our wet concrete again, and we're going to place plates around the outside of that to protect it from zombie spit. Make sure you choose the right plate. You don't want the centered one. And we're going to do right there, and then right there. And that'll protect it from zombie spit. Upgrade your blocks that were placed as wet concrete so that they upgrade. I missed several times there, so that they upgrade into reinforced concrete, because you do want everything upgrade to at least that. Your interior section here where your blade traps are, it's a good idea to upgrade these to steel. And we're going to place some more blocks below them in just a moment, and we're going to want to upgrade those to steel too. The reason is if you have a cop that's going to explode, it's going to explode either down here or right here most likely. So having these blocks upgrade to steel can be beneficial for that purpose. And then this bar you'd want to upgrade to steel too. You actually want 2 of those poles. So let's go ahead and place the second one. I'm kind of all over the shop tonight. I'm sorry, guys. Right, there we go. So you have 2 poles and you're set. If you want, if it makes you feel better, you can put another, like, half block there. It's probably not a terrible idea. That way, if they break through the first pole, they still have to break through the second pole. Oh, there we go. And we can still crouch to get in here. It's not a big deal. Okay. Alright. Maybe that should be a full block. Yeah, you know what? I changed my mind. That one should be a full block instead. Because if the zombies do manage to get into this spot right here, they can just walk straight over. So you need to have that one be a full block. My bad, guys. There we go. Let me just upgrade it. Okay, so now we can no longer crouch through that area, but that's not the end of the world. And we can't get up there either. But that's why we have our door, so we can go around if we need to. So, generator is set up. Now we just have to wire everything up. So we click there, wire that up. Blade trap spinning. Wire that up. And then we're going to put a relay on the outside to make it easier to wire up the fence post. So we're just going to put the relay right here. And then we're going to wire the generator to the relay, and then the relay to the fence post, so we don't have to do a lot of running back and forth. Just save some time. I don't know why they're like grayed out like that. It's kind of funky. I think it's because I have it so close to my other base, which has a lot of electronics. It's literally like a mirror image of that base. So I think that's probably why it's doing that. It's having texture memory issues or something along those lines. But we get a nice little spider web of wires going here. And yeah, we're pretty much set on the trap department now. The only thing we have to wire up is that turret. Let's run back around, grab the wire, and hit that turret up. Great. Okay, my wife just came home, but the last step here is we're going to dig a ditch, and it's going to be 2 deep. We're going to do that all the way around. The exception to that is on the side where the blade trap is. We want to go a little bit deeper. The reason is, and you want to have like a little ramp here where they can run out. The reason why we want it a little bit deeper on the blade trap side is because we want to be able to put a 3rd blade trap in right there. And we're just going to make a little exit path for them here as well. And right here, we're going to go 2 deep. Except for once we get to the blade trap area, we're going to go a 3rd block deep. Go. And that way we can put in another blade trap. And then we're going to ease our way back up to 2. And back up. And there's our ditch. For that, place our last blade trap in. Right there. We want to probably put a solid block there. We probably want to upgrade that to steel as well once it dries. Boom. And then we're pretty much done with this base. We have everything we need done. Don't forget to put bullets in your turret up top, but you're pretty much set for your horde. Boom. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this base build video. If you did, make sure you like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I think I'll do, this is getting a little bit long. I think I'll do a separate video for a primitive version of the space. Very similar, a little bit less elaborate. But again, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, favorite, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys for the next base build video. Bye, y'all.